Your name, where you live.
Okay. My name's Tanya Rice.
How old are you?
27.
How far did you go through school?
Well, I was in special ed classes, so I was in the 9th grade, and I didn't finish because I reunited with my mother.
Okay, so you have a 9th grade education, but you was in special ed during that time.
Yeah, but it's not a 9th grade education. It's special classes.
Yeah. All right. So, can you explain to me or explain to the commission how you got stopped that night and why you were stopped that night? On what road were you on?
White Pond Road.
Right. And it was stopped in between, the ticket I think says Club Drive and Banks Mill.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about what got you arrested that night. Okay, why were you stopped on White Pond Road that night?
For speeding.
And?
Well, once she pulled me over for speeding, then she seen that my tag had just expired, and then after that she followed with getting me with no insurance and no driver's license. I told her I had a driver's license, and
did you tell her you had insurance? You had just left your wallet at home and forgot it?
Yeah, I told her I was like 2 minutes from the house, that I had a bad mistake of leaving my wallet in the car, but I had taken it in that day and I thought that it was in the car. And
okay, let me ask you this. Did Officer Parks tell you when she wrote you the ticket for no proof of insurance that if you brought the car down to City Hall and showed that you had proof of insurance at the time of the ticket that it would be dropped?
No.
Okay, so they got you for all that. Did they arrest you that night?
Yes.
Did she tell you why she was taking you to jail?
Yes, she did. She told me the reason that she was making the arrest is because I had more than 3 tickets, and that you're not allowed to have more than 3 tickets and not go to jail.
Okay. So you went to jail. How long did you spend time in jail?
Ooh, for that, I think it was either 1 to 3 days, something like that.
Did you post bond or hire a bondsman?
Yes.
And they got you out, so that cost you $91 to the bondsman because the total bond was $900 and something bucks, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so you bailed out.
Mm-hmm.
Then you went and asked for a jury trial.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What happened then?
Well, I had to wait for the court date.
Did they tell you when you asked for a jury trial if you had the right to indigent
No.
protection or indigent?
No.
Nothing about being indigent at all.
Nothing.
And getting people to help you out within the court system.
Right.
So now you've come up and they send you a notice telling you that there's a jury on 128, a jury strike.
Yes.
Did you go down a couple days ahead of time and try to get that information before Monday? I think you went down on a Thursday.
I got the paper to go to the post office, and I wasn't sure what the paper was, and I went Thursday and picked up the paper, and it was telling me that I had to be in court Monday on the 28th. So the next day, Friday morning, or I think I went down there
8:30. No, 8:30 is when you came by here to pick up the other papers.
8:30. I went.
Well, I know you asked. Did you ask for the copy of the tape? The
Yes.
traffic stop?
Yes.
What did they tell you? That particular day, what did they tell you?
Well, the officer argued with me about a few things, and then I started talking about the right of the law, that I had the right to have it, and this and that, and she said that it was her week, that if it was her weekend off, that she didn't have to do any of that. But since she was working that weekend, she said she would try to have it done for me by my court date, but she didn't have to do anything.
Right. But did she tell you what time Monday to show up down there?
Yes, she told me to come there at 8:30. That that was going to be my appointment to meet with the judge at 8:30, and also Michelle was supposed to meet me down there around that time too.
When you first called her about the indigent paperwork, what'd she tell you?
She said I wasn't entitled to it, and I said something about a Miranda rights, and she said she didn't even do a Miranda. And I said, well, you arrested me, didn't you? And she didn't make a statement.
Well, on Friday, when you asked Michelle, the clerk of court, that you needed that paperwork, did they refuse to give you any paperwork that particular day?
Yes, they did.
Did they tell you that you was eligible for that, and you had to pay a $40 fee?
No.
Did they tell you that Monday when you got down there at 8:30 in the morning? Did they ignore you? Did they talk to you? Did they give you your paperwork?
Well, I was there about 10 minutes after 8, and Michelle arrived around 8:35, and the judge was there too, but neither one. It was around 9 o'clock. They kept ignoring me, and it was around 9 o'clock when the other court was starting for other people, and I finally went up there and asked Michelle if I could have the videotape of the arrest and the papers on the indigent lawyer. And I told her that the law states that I have the right to have the tape and the information on my stuff.
Under Section 5.
Or it has to be thrown out, is what I told her.
Right. Well, we don't know if that's true or not. But
yeah, but
about being thrown out, we don't know.
Well, I wasn't sure about it,
right.
But
anyway.
she then threw her hand up like this in the air, like that, towards me, and went walking down the hall and was yelling for Alicia Parks, the officer, and did not hand me the papers, did not have any more conversation with me after I made the statement about the tape. So when the officer come up to me, she said, I was told to give this to you.
And that was what?
The indigent papers.
Okay.
And that was it.
Alright, so then you left. And you went back down there for court. What time was court start?
Court started at 6, and I was there about 10 minutes, 15 minutes before court.
What happened? Did anybody talk to you once you arrived at court?
No.
During what time didn't you say that someone tried to make a deal with you?
Yeah, that was
When
right
did that
before
take place?
court started.
Okay. Who was that?
I think Ellenton.
Was it Hamilton or the lawyer, Andy Griffith? The lawyer was in a coat and tie.
Yeah, he was in a coat and tie.
So, blue coat? He always wears the same coat. I don't like Andy Griffith.
I don't remember.
Alright, but the lawyer come to you, and what did he tell you, or ask you?
He said, let's try to make a deal.
Okay, so explain what the deal was.
And the deal was that he could try to get the tickets reduced. But I told him that I was going to ask for a continuance. And he said, well, it's not going to do any good to try to get your tickets reduced if you're asking for a continuance. And I said, well, if it doesn't get continued, can I still get them to reduce it any? And he said no.